Hi everybody, welcome back to another coding tutorial in Python. In this video we're going to talk about data types. So the ones we're going to cover start with, well, the easiest way if you have any doubt over what some piece of data that you're working with, what its type is, you could just type in type, open parentheses, and then whatever you want to know about. So if I type in a word, I'm going to get str, so that means string, and string is a data type. Type is a built-in function to Python, so it comes with every version of Python that you're going to get. Or we could type in something like a number, and 45, so we get integer, int, int. Now, the data types include integers, floating points, long integers, which we won't really cover, booleans, and strings. And a weird thing that I wanted to know when I was making this video was, what type is type? And so if you want something really recursive, try that on for size. But an integer is basically any number that doesn't have anything after the decimal point in Python. So examples would be -1, -2, -3, 0, 1, 2, 3, and anything that you can count to without putting on a decimal. So if you don't believe me, type -3 int. I already showed you a positive number, and now 0. So that flies along with what we've been doing in math. Floats we already know about, we've encountered. One thing of note is that if I type in something like this, and then I type in something like this, and we'll set them equal to variables, I just used a, so those are both in there. Good, now we ran both of those, and I say type A. It's going to give me a float. Now, Python knows here that it's supposed to store the point to mean that this number that I want to put into the variable A has to be a float. And now if I go type of B, I'm going to get an integer. So it doesn't register it as a float. In Python 2, you would have had like a weird flooring rounding thing that happened when you divided an integer, or divided an integer by an integer that it didn't divide evenly into. But that is basically, as far as I know, that's completely gone in Python 3.5, and you just have your typical rounding errors that come when you have to express any number as a decimal and you can't use fractions. Booleans. So Python uses some values like true and false, and you have to use capital T and capital F when you write these in. And all that basically says is on or off. They have like kind of weird uses. And it's very like case by case how we're gonna encounter these. But then the last one is strings. And a string is just a sequence of characters. We've already encountered these. They can be capital letters, lowercase letters. They can have numbers in them. They can have underscores, any kind of symbols that you want in them. And you can use single quotes or double quotes. So if we go type of string, and we could do it with single quotes too, and we're going to get the exact same result. And this should also work if we do type, something I just learned that I didn't know before, of we can use triple quotes for a string. So that's pretty much all I have for data types. we'll go into a little bit more detail later. Oh,